yes, you could take out a $10 bill and give him, or you could think for a moment and say, what would I want somebody to do for me if, God forbid, that was me in his shoes? You don't want a $10 bill. You want somebody to really do what they can do. Feel their pain, imi anochi b'tzara, and then your donation will be a very different donation. That's even the case when and if you can't afford to give more than 10. It's the warmth that goes with it. It's the sign of encouragement. We can't give to everybody. It's impossible. What you could give to everybody is the chizuk.
Beruchim Abayim and welcome to Torah Talks Chazaq's Tuesday night program with special guests. We have with us Rabbi Akiva Homnick all the way from the Lower East Side. Baruch haba, welcome, Rabbi. How you doing?
Baruch Hashem. Thank you very much for having me.
It's always a pleasure to see you and be at the Chazaq headquarters. And we're going to be speaking about the importance of giving. But before we get to that topic, we get a little bit of background about yourself and the amazing and great work you're involved with.
So I'm a Talmud of Tveres Yerushalayim on the Lower East Side. MTJ. I learned by Rav David Feinstein Zatzal. I currently live there, and I have a couple of organizations, one specifically, Pidyon Shvu Yisrael, helping those who are incarcerated all across the United States. I also have a chaplaincy-related organization helping people with, I guess we could call it entry-level parnasa, and opening up different roads for them to grow in that industry. Amazing,
Rabbi, and I know you're involved with many other causes and organizations and good things. And, the topic of the importance of giving is that many people, naturally, they're takers. They want to take from themselves. How do they shift from being a taker to becoming a giver, to giving to others?
It's very important to always put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You see somebody approaches you, they say, oh, they need money, achnasas kala. So, yes, you could take out a $10 bill and give him, or you could think for a moment and say, what would I want somebody to do for me if, God forbid, that was me in his shoes? I'm collecting for my kid's wedding, or I'm collecting for my kid's bar mitzvah. You don't want a $10 bill. You want somebody to really do what they can do. Put yourself in their shoes. Feel their pain, imi anochi b'tzara, and then your donation will be a very different donation. And by the way, that's even the case when and if you can't afford to give more than 10. It's the warmth that goes with it. It's the
good
bracha.
Word. It's
the sign of encouragement. It's the chizuk that you give. I get calls like everybody else does. We can't give to everybody. It's impossible. But what you could give to everybody is the chizuk. And I try to give to everybody, even if it's a small amount. But that's also part of the chizuk. Yes, would we all love a $500 donor? 100%. We simply can't do it. But what we can do, and what we have to do, is to give the chizuk.
Give the inspiration.
To
uplift people.
To uplift the people who are behind that organization to give and to do more.
Amazing. So when it comes to giving, the first thing that people come to mind is what? A financial contribution. Oh, let me give the $10, $100, $1,000, whatever amount a person can give. But as we know, there's much more than just giving financially. There's whether it's time, whether it's ideas, whether it's advice, whether it's their connections. What could the rabbi tell us about not just giving financially, but giving in other ways?
So, of course, there's the famous psak of Gainer Moshe Feinstein that he always said over that it's important that the same way we have a chiyuv to give 10% of our income, we have an obligation to give 10% of our time.
Yes, famous.
And I always say, if you do simple math, an average person is up at least 15 hours a day. Whether we start our day at 7, 8 in the morning, we're going to bed 10, 11 o'clock at night. We're all in debt for a lot of time that we owe.
And we can use everyone's time.
For our great organizations, whether it's here at Chazaq, whether it's Hatzalah, who's having their Hatzalathon now. I mean, who hasn't benefited from Hatzalah?
I have quite a few stories.
I have a number of them. Yeah. I fortunately or unfortunately, my parents, Aleim Hashalom, were not of the healthiest. I can't count on one hand how many times Hatzalah was there for us.
Yeah, true.
So any of us who have kids, of course, our kids keep Hatzalah in business with some sort of trauma along the way, whether it's a bad break, some major fall off a bike, or anything else.
We had a story that they actually made a video out of it, and a whole thing for Hatzalah, where unfortunately our oldest boy, our son, when he was younger, he pulled the wire, somehow he pulled the wire of the hot water urn. And it went on him, and Hatzalah came right away, and it was Mamish Hatzalah Nefashos, Cornell Hospital, the whole shebang. And Baruch Hashem, thank God, today he's fine, everything's good. But we have a tremendous debt of gratitude, the great work of Hatzalah.
Yeah, and all the local yeshivas. I mean, we all know all these organizations. They make Hatzalathons, they make different campaigns, and they all need volunteers to get there and make phone calls.
Yeah.
Why is it that when you go to a yeshiva or any organization, you have 15 people? We should have 150. You take any yeshiva, they have thousands of alumni.
Yeah, it's true. And the parents and the children and
parents,
the neighbors,
the children,
and the family,
by the way,
friends.
The kids learn from the parents. So if the parents don't do it, the kids don't do it, as a general rule. So, yes, just because your parents don't do it doesn't make it right for you not doing it. But to the parents who don't do it, you have to lead by example.
100%. I actually thought of this cute idea that Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim, that what does that mean? That the actions of the parents, the word for a father in Hebrew is Abba, and for mother is Ima. It's a palindrome, backwards and forwards. The way parents are to children, that's the way the children are going to be the parents. The way that parents act is the way the children are going to act. So when the parents are active in different causes and they're helping out and they're giving of their time, of their energies, whatever it may be, it's going to definitely trickle down to the children. And it could really be a family fun activity, and it could keep the kids busy, and they could do good things. Chazaq has, an upcoming tournament, also as a fundraiser. And we definitely need volunteers, so we have so many things to do. When people come over to me, they tell me, I have so much time in my hand. I'm like, wow, give me some of that time, please.
Yeah.
We could definitely use, but we have to utilize that time, like the rabbi is saying, like Moshe Feinstein said, it was a psak that he said that 10% of people's time.
Correct.
10% of people's time.
Yeah.
So what if a person doesn't have it in him? What would you tell them to encourage them to not, he just take the $500, leave me alone. Is that the right approach, Rabbi? Is there anything you could do to encourage others with regards to the importance of not only just giving financially, but to this?
Absolutely. Again, like I said before, it's the importance of putting yourself in the shoes of that organization, of that person, we all have our project that we're a bigger supporter of than others, whether it's our local shul, school, mikveh, whatever it may be. We have to truly give and be passionate about it. It's incredibly important, and we have to step up. And the same way you want people to step up for your cause, whether it's financially or to share your link or in whatever ways they can, it's important that you do it for the organizations that right now you're not so involved in, but one day you'll make time and get involved in all of them.
100%. On a personal level, everyone knows I'm involved with Chazaq. Besides for Chazaq, there's obviously the shul and shuls that I'm involved in. There's the yeshivot that my children go to, and there's the yeshivot that my children don't even go to, but I'm still involved. Because at the end of the day, whatever we could be involved with and help people, that's the main thing. Organizations galore. There's probably dozens and hundreds of organizations that we're involved with and helping out, and we like to work together. And the idea is very simple. We're all working for the same boss. At the end of the day, one name and another name, another organization, another yeshiva, another shul. It's all is at the end of the day is to do more. And I always say that Mashiach hasn't come yet. The Geula, the final redemption. So the question is, if we just continue with status quo, doing whatever we do, maybe that's not going to do the job. What do we have to do? We have to do more. We have to take things to the next level.
We have to push ourselves. It's not easy. We come home after an 8-10 hour day. Many of us commute an hour or close to an hour to and from work. We come home, we're exhausted. But you know what? We still have an obligation to give. Obviously, to those who are going out to learn or to have their other commitments, you're committed there too. But it doesn't mean that on Sunday you can't, yes, it's family time to a certain extent. But part of doing it is doing it with your family. Show your kids, lead by example. Yes, we all need our downtime and our relaxation, for sure. But there has to be that 10% of our time is giving back to our organizations, to our meisters. These are people that are there for us day in and day out. Why are we not there for them day in and day out? It's a question that nobody has given me a good answer to, and I look forward for that day to hear the good answer, where I hear that all the organizations have hundreds of more volunteers lining up to help with the yeshiva dinners, with their campaigns. It's an important drive that we have to get behind. It's something that's always bothered me. I've had conversations with many Rabbanim, and they're like, Akiva, you got my endorsement. But at the end of the day, very few step up to the plate. So they're all quick to write the check, which is very nice, and we encourage that too. For those who can write the check, please continue to write, and if you can write more, continue to send more. But for those who write the check, even you also have an obligation to give of your time. So it's expected of all of us, it's required of all of us, and we need to do it.
There's a famous quote. You want to get something done, you should ask the busy man. So as busy as people are, if they find it to be important, which it is, they will figure out a way, some way, somehow, to make the time to help out. So again, like the Rabbi is saying so beautifully, everybody can, everybody should. Be'ezrat Hashem, get involved. A person wants to, there is a will, there's a way, they'll figure out a way to do so. Powerful words. So Rabbi, we have a minhag, we have a custom, which is a final message for our broad audience.
I would say my final message here is to really to, again, get involved, be passionate, remember that Psak of Ramosha. As far as the financial side of things, it's important to always, for those who have a direct deposit option from our corporations, it's your style of giving also depends on how you give it. There are people who give $360 to an organization and they feel like they gave the world. I'm talking obviously wealthy people who can afford to give a lot more. But they're giving it like that because the money goes all into one account. They don't have it separate. The people who have 10% of their net income going into a separate account, not a penny more and not a penny less. And again, for those who could do pennies more or dollars more, kudos to you, and please do so. But the separate account idea is an important idea. I don't like to admit this, but I myself used to be very bad at giving, and it was actually the idea of my Rabbi and Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi David Feinstein, that I make a separate account, and I did that. At that point, I was working for a company that had direct deposit, going back 10, 15 years ago, and I did that, and ever since, you just look at that account as Kaddish. It's not your money. You're God's messenger. And now, there are many great causes, so I always say, whoever calls me is the lucky one. Mm-hmm. You may call me and I have $1,000 Misa for you. You may call me and I have $54 Meiser. But you should know that it's not about what I give financially, it's about the chizuk that I try to give everybody who calls me. Whether it's 8 time, Beina Olam, Chazaq, Lev La'achim, Hatzalah, there's dozens, the yeshivas, the kailalim. Ain't Shmira Katayra. We're living now in a turbulent time and bizarre times all across the world. We need protection now more than ever. We need to enhance our giving to yeshivas, to kailalim. There's no shortage of those organizations. Of course, there are organizations like Chazaq who also spread Torah. We're here at Chazaq. They're having a campaign next week. I believe Rabbi told me, let's get involved, reach out, see how we could support the organization. They're great work. And with that, we'll be zeichet to the Geula Shalema B'Karev.
Amen. Amen. Yeshakach. Chazaq Baruch Rabbi Akiva Homnick. The importance of giving. You inspired me. As much as I'm giving, I want to give more.
Thank you.
And we have to remember, the word for giving in Hebrew is natan. It's a palindrome also, backwards and forwards, same spelling in Hebrew and English, interestingly enough. Because when we give, in essence, you're going to get so much more. People think, oh, I'm giving my time, I'm giving my money, I'm losing. No, not at all. You're getting so much blessings, there's so much goodness, and so much tzedakah tetzilim b'mavet. You think you're doing a favor by giving to those that are in need? It's saving from death. So as much as possible, everybody should be giving, the importance of giving. We should be zechelek. The Rabbi says, "The Geula Shlema, the redemption, should come from our many spilling days." Amen, amen. We want to thank Natan Behar behind the camera, our media director, and the entire amazing Chazaq team and staff and volunteers and board members and supporters. We're forever grateful. We want to thank our friends at Daily Giving. $1 a day goes a very far way. We want to thank our friends at Torah Anytime that they're also having a campaign around this time right now, and we encourage everyone to support their great cause as well. And all the different podcast players and the different websites that are hosting our Torah Talks, Chazaq Torah Talks. We really appreciate the amount of feedback is amazing. Please continue sending feedback. It gives a lot of chizuk, like the Rabbi spoke about. It gives a lot of strength for us to continue. Baruch Hashem, over 150 episodes a day in our Baruch Hashem. We share B'Sarah Torah. Beautiful, beautiful words.